too raw for TV. So I just want to do one last video talking about Luka Doncic on this channel for today. And I've been thinking about Luka over the last couple of years. Now I understand that his playoff career is still very young. He's only played in approximately 25 playoff games, but I still think that's enough of a sample size to make a reasonable assessment of Luka's impact in the postseason. All right. This is his fourth year in the league. This is his third playoff go round. And when you look at it, it's not just the numbers, but I will start with the numbers. Okay. When you look at the regular season numbers for Luka, they're very impressive. Over 26 points a game for his career. I believe he averages something around 7+ rebounds per game. I believe he averages 7 assists per game for his career. All right, 46% shooting, 34% from downtown. I believe he's something around a 73% foul shooter. Now, are there critiques to his game? There's things he needs to improve on. Yeah, the first thing that pops in my mind is his free throw shooting. I think 73%, that's subpar for a perimeter player. I think he needs to get into the 80s. It's one of the knocks on LeBron James is that he is not a great foul shooter. He's not the worst foul shooter, but for an elite player who's not a post player, that's pretty bad, pretty low. Luka, if he can get his free throw percentage into the 80s, he'd be even more unstoppable. Luka is a somewhat subpar three-point shooter statistically. Um, he's only 33.7% for his career. The league average is around 36%. If Luka could just get to 36, 37%, get his free throw percentage up to 79, 80%, then he jumps into an even more unstoppable category. Uh, the biggest weakness that he has, of course, is his defense. Now, this is where I disagree with some people. To be an all-time great, you don't have to be a lockdown defender. Um, the mark of a great player is that at least you cannot be a liability defensively. Now, some people bring up Magic Johnson. This is what people don't understand about Magic Johnson. When Magic Johnson first came to the NBA, early on in his career, he led the league in steals. I think it was twice. Magic used to be a pretty poor one-on-one defender. Magic got a lot of his steals gambling and in passing lanes. All right, which of course led to him getting a lot of steals, but it led to him getting beat a lot defensively. Magic was never the quickest guy, and as a result, he was considered a subpar defender. Over the next several years, Magic improved defensively. His anticipation improved, um, as did him being a more disciplined defender. He didn't gamble as much, so his steals went down from 2.9, 2.8 to 1.6, 1.7, but that was fine. He was never the fastest guy, so he still always had trouble with quick guards. Um, but he improved also as a help defender, not to the level of Larry Bird, but he improved as a help defender. And just experience, just over years, just playing against certain guys over a couple of seasons, you begin to understand certain tendencies they have. And Magic being a very intelligent player, you know, anticipation, uh, you know, memory, things of that nature. He just improved to be a adequate defender, and that's enough. Luka doesn't have to be locked down. If Luka could just be a decent defender, as Steph Curry became, that's enough. If he can improve on these things, there's no doubt in my mind Luka could be one of the all-time greats. Another thing he needs to work on as he gets older is taking care of his body. He's getting away with certain habits now because of his youth, but as he gets older, he's going to have to take care of his diet, uh, keep his body at a reasonable weight, and you know. But those are things to be talked about in the future. The thing that amazes me about Luca is how much he raises his game in the playoffs. Now, I understand it's still a smaller sample size, and I don't expect his numbers to always be this phenomenal. But when you look at his career playoff numbers versus his regular season numbers, most players actually drop, even all time great players, their numbers actually drop during the playoffs because you're going up against superior competition. The field goal percentages drop, the 3-point percentages drop, the points per game sometimes drop. Um, Even if the field goal and efficiencies drop, most superstars at least try to bring up their games more, some more than others. Some people who I found to be very clutch in the postseason, Akeem Olajuwon, James Worthy, Michael Jordan, are guys who come to mind. But the big jumps that Luca makes, if you look at his numbers, and I know like it's not all about numbers, but it's astounding. 26 points per game during the regular season. He jumps up to 32.7 points per game during the playoffs. That's a phenomenal jump. It may be the biggest point differential in history. Elijah Wan averaged 21 point, I think, 8 points per game or something like that during the regular season. And the playoffs is 25.6. That's like a 4 point jump. But Luca is actually jumping up more than 6 points per game. Then he has the 9.3 rebounds, the 8.3 assists. His shooting percentages are actually higher in the postseason, 48%, 37% from downtown. The free throw percentage was abysmal earlier on, the first couple of playoff runs. This year he's at 74%. The turnovers have gone down each year in the playoffs as well. He's improving dramatically. And at this rate, um, you have to wonder, man, how good is he going to become eventually? And when you look at the fact that he doesn't have the best team around him, I mean, Jalen Brunson is okay, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no all star. Finney Smith, he does not have a great team around him. You know, it's just certain things I see about Luca. What makes him great is, yes, he's not that fast, but when you watch him, he is he's such a tricky guy, man. Like he's not a guy who is predictable in what he's going to do on the court. He leaves the defense sort of off balance. There's sometimes he looks like he's going to score. It looks like he's trying to score. A lot of times, the one weakness that he does have too is that sometimes he can shoot the ball too much. That's sometimes hurts his team when he becomes trying to be super Luka and trying to score 45, 50 points, taking 35 shots. A lot of times that's when he hurts his team. But when there's a balance there, when Luka's taking about 20 shots and the nights he's efficient and he leads the defense off balance when you think he's trying to score, when actually he's trying to set other guys up. And then when he sets other guys up and they're making their shots, and then the defense kind of is focused on those guys, and that opens things up for Luka. Then Luka gets two or three, consecutive drives to the basket, or a drive to the basket and an open look for three, or open uh, mid range, and that that's the thing. Always trying to keep the defense off kilter, trying to have them guessing instead of being predictable, which is what hurt Milwaukee because without Giannis, I mean without Milton, the thing I noticed about our offense was that it was becoming very predictable, you know. But I don't know. I'm sorry I'm rambling a little bit, man. It's a little bit late, shit, man. But I just think, as far as the Western Conference Finals is concerned, I think it's going to be more competitive than people think. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas stole one and Golden State, well, Sacramento. I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to steal a game. You know what I'm saying? It could possibly be game one of these games, because that's one problem I've noticed with Golden State is that that's different from the Golden State Warriors teams in the past. That aura of invincibility is gone. They're still a great team, but that aura of invincibility is gone. And also, when they're not knocking down their shots, in the past, when Golden State might not have been knocking down their shots, remember they used to have that awesome bench. They used to come in and could take over a game and shit like that. Or when they had KD, that was just a cheat code. You know what I'm saying? Not all, not all three of them gonna be off. If Curry was off and Clay was off, then Durant was on. Or if Durant was off, Curry was hot. Or if Clay was cold, both Durant and Curry could be hot. But the problem with this team is, you know, Poole is not a great 3-point shooter. Clay is still a little bit more off and on. Curry's older. So sometimes they can be off, man. And, you know, but Dallas is going to have to make adjustments. Uh, the Golden State Warriors are a different animal. But we'll see, though. Tell me what you guys think.